This is the Real Good Procast with your hosts, Declan DeBarb, Ian Blumenthal, and Marshall Heath.
Welcome back, everyone. It's good to have you all in here tonight. It's been a while since we talked. Welcome to the Real Good Procast. Boys, Ian, Marshall, as always, producer Seb behind the proverbial glass and right beside me on my left.
Proverbial.
Have a good break?
Oh, yeah. Did absolutely nothing. It was awesome.
I had some fun stories. New Year's and stuff was fun, so maybe one day if we do a meet and greet, I can tell some funny stories, but I just can't do that on recording.
No, not available for syndication?
Marshall doesn't even know yet. I haven't told him.
I'm just glad you didn't move to
I can
Brazil.
only imagine.
I'm just glad you didn't move to Brazil, buddy. Why don't we get into...
She's gonna move. She's gonna listen to the podcast.
I hope so. What's her name, Lauren?
Oh,
Hi,
what?
Lauren.
Okay.
I've never heard this, but I'm looking forward to it, Lauren.
No, that's not the funny story.
Oh.
That's just like a funny thing. Like that's
Okay.
fine. Like I met her and then like she's awesome. So
Did you guys
All
get
right.
a good Christmas present? Or
I got-
Hanukkah present?
I mean, I got...
hey, it was Christmas.
I
But
got...
I also got this dope ass sweater.
That you can't see because we don't have video
Yeah, it's
yet.
camo. It's
Yet.
lit.
Yet.
Yeah, I got Sens tickets, so I don't know if you want to say that's good or not.
Ooh, I went to a Leafs game.
It's a Friday night game against Columbus.
Oh,
Oh.
buddy, big tilt right there.
What's the
Yeah.
thing? Is like,
Oh, the
funny.
cannon in Columbus.
Okay.
No, but I mentioned Christmas because we have some new things that are going to be rolled out this year.
Did you get a cool Christmas present,
I
Declan?
did get a cool
Sorry,
Christmas present.
Is
What-
that what you wanted us to ask?
Yeah,
you?
Well,
What-
yeah, I
what was-
kind of wanted to allude to that I got a camera for Christmas. Thank you, Mom and Dad. But we're going to start experimenting with some video. I know that this may be one of the very first podcasts you listen to where we do have iTunes available. That'll be included in the description of the YouTube video if you want to subscribe. But why don't we get to talking shop, boys? Why don't we talk some hockey?
Perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Why don't we start where we always do, down the 401 with Toronto. So Toronto has two goalies out in Freddie and Garrett Sparks. Freddie's out with a groin injury, Sparks a concussion. And what does this mean for the Leafs, Ian?
Right now they're in a little bit of a skid, but I don't think that's a goaltending thing. We got shut out last game, which is not a goaltending shut out with quotation marks. Well, technically it was offside, but
Yeah, but they stayed in the zone for 30 minutes. I mean, we'll get to that a little bit later, but I just mean in general, let's stick on with the Leafs.
I've honestly liked how Hutchinson's been playing. He's been pretty solid. He has like a 9-10 save percentage or something, which for a backup goalie, perfect. Like
9-10. I mean, the league average is 904, so yeah, you really can't complain.
I can't complain at all. Like Sparks has a 905, but man, that's crazy that Freddie got injured and then in the practice he got smashed in the face with a puck. Guess who? Guess who did it?
William.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so rough.
But it's looking like Freddie is returning. He said he wants to be back by the Bruins game on Saturday. That's when he's eyeing his return. But, I mean, I think that... I mean, don't hold this against me. I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing that Freddie's out a little bit. Yeah, he's hurt, and you never want your goalie hurt, but you're getting him some rest that he needs. And if he's not ready by the Bruins game, I would sit him. The Leafs are comfortable enough in the standings.
Like we're in second. Like the only person that's coming up on us like a little bit is Boston, but I don't think they're gonna catch up.
Boston's 2 points behind us. We have a game in hand.
We're comfortable in the standings, but we've been on a little bit of a skid, and we're not going to keep losing the way we've been losing. And so I think we're going to pick it back up. And if Freddie's not ready for Saturday, it's not a huge deal. Just sit him a little bit more, let him rest. We want him for the playoffs. I don't care if we're second or third in the division. I just want Freddie to be Freddie in the playoffs and not previous playoff Freddies who have been okay, but not good enough to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, Freddie stole us a couple of games when we played against Boston. That series had no business going to 7 games last year.
Yeah, I had.
We got outplayed so much. But Yeah, I mean, look at Washington. I've made this point a couple of times, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. The year Holtby played, I believe it was 58 games or something around there. They go all the way because they had arrested Holtby, and the Stanley Cup final was decided because Brendan Holtby was unbelievable.
Braden.
Braden?
Yeah, it's Braden
Oh,
Holtby.
okay.
But also, looking at that, Grubauer did a lot and didn't even also play in the playoffs a little bit.
Grubauer played until they lost back-to-back games in Columbus.
Which was first round. Okay. So then Holtby went back in, and then he stole the show from there, which was nice. But I'm looking at like Holtby's save percentage, like last playoffs. It wasn't like he was crazy good. Like he wasn't pulling up Marc-Andre Fleury numbers in the way he was putting in the playoffs. But like it was good enough. It was like what 920 probably or so.
He stole the games he had to steal, and that's what
Exactly.
You don't need him to be lights out for 16 wins. You need him to be sufficient enough just to win.
You needed him to win games. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about save percentage. I don't care about anything. All I care about is wins.
Yeah, like if you let in 5 goals, but you guys score 6, great.
It's game
fantastic.
for game type deals. Like, yes, your goalie can get a shutout 5-0 win, but your team scored 5 goals. If you let in 3 goals, you're still winning the game. And like, yes, getting shutouts is awesome. But stats, they're great.
Come playoff time, they
but
mean nothing.
Exactly. Like you saw Pecorine last year, Vezina. He's so good. Wait, he won Vezina, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. He won Vezina, and he was so good. And then in the playoffs, he was average.
Yep.
He wasn't rested enough, and I don't know if it was the rest, but I think a lot of it's pressure in the playoffs. It's a different game out there. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and it gets in your head. Like when you lose a regular season game, yeah, it's one game, like you bounce back. When you're in the playoffs and stuff like that happens, it's so much worse.
But in the playoffs, you definitely need your goalies a little bit more. The other team can game plan you a little bit better. We saw that with the Boston Bruins. They figured out that a right-handed defenseman can't move the puck, so they
Just hemmed him.
They lofted it in there. And I don't know with the right side you have where they have honestly I would say some of the best right-sided players in the game.
The Leafs?
We're not on defense, on forward, right wingers. You have Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
You have Kasperi Kapanen, and you have Andreas Janssen. Or William Nylander. I can't remember which one
Nylander's on
played.
the left
So then
wing, I'm pretty
Janssen.
sure.
So those are 3 great options. We've gotten better down the right side. I hope that won't be an issue this year, but I think it's a small little upgrade on defense, and I don't even know if you need to make a trade for it. But, I mean, I'm dragging us off topic. Why don't we...
But no. But, like, I just want to add one thing to this, like, topic here. When you're talking about, like, right side and left side, there's a lot of, yes, you're right wing and left wing, but Nylander takes a lot of faceoffs. He's pretty much a centerman, and Mike Babcock's talked about how when they come back in the zone, first man back, winger or centerman is the guy who goes down low. And it doesn't matter. Like, Matthews goes, blocks shots at the point. Like, that's their jobs. Like, they know they play each role. It's just the centerman right now. I think that's the way the game is evolving, is the centerman right now takes face-offs. And, yeah, you practice your face-offs because that's what you got to do. But then after that, like, yes, you have your position as center, right wing, left wing. But it's, like, only when you're set up in the zone, pretty much, or set up in the defensive zone. When you're on the move, when you're on rushes, or you're on odd man, defensive odd man rushes or whatever, there's no, like, exact thing that needs to happen every time. There's no one person that has to go for specific people. It's zone, and it's really weird that way. And I kind of like the way it's going because it means that everyone can kind of play every position.
Yeah, I know. It's like you have to be able to play every position too, which elevates everyone else to be better too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like penalty kill. It's like a roving square. And on power play, other than the point man, it's the other 4 guys. They're circling each other and they're trying to get open. So it's exactly that same way.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, I mean, the game is definitely becoming a lot more fluid.
It's more rushes.
Fluid, a lot more rush, a lot more speed based. And I mean, you watch hockey from the 80s, it's a completely different game.
The game's faster than it's ever been because now you get these 18 to 25-year-olds who are speed. Literally, that's all they are is speed, and then their hands can move as fast as them. So you get McDavid, and then you look at Johnny Gaudreau, man. Johnny Gaudreau is so good. There's points where he honestly looks like a thing that McDavid would do. With the puck and at his speed, he's small, and I think if he was if he was a little bit bigger, like I don't know if he would be the same player, but if he had the exact same skill set and was just a little bit bigger, oh my goodness, he already tears up the league. I would just imagine what he could do if he had more pounds on him.
If-
I don't
if-
think Johnny Gaudreau needs to be a little bit heavier,
No,
though.
he
His
doesn't.
game is definitely the fast, speedy game. He's not a chippy guy.
He doesn't
I know,
need to be,
I know,
but,
but-
if he had the size of like Ovechkin, like what he could be then.
Yeah,
It's-
like he could still be as fast. He could still have the same hands and everything, but then he could also just body people out of the way and box people out.
yeah, just not
It
huge.
just adds
just,
another aspect to the game.
Well, on HockeyDB, he's listed as 5'9", 165 pounds. I don't know if I believe that.
So he's 5'7" and 170
pounds.
pounds.
no, he's less than he's listed for sure.
But I mean, size was one of the issues when Johnny Gaudreau got drafted. That's why he went in the
couldn't do
fourth.
He couldn't
That's
do
when
a
he went into
pull-up.
in the fourth round.
I know, which is insane. He's so good.
Size is
Less and
becoming
less.
less and less of an issue in the game.
Does Peter Shirley know that yet?
I don't think so, buddy.
Okay.
Hey, Milan Lucic is a very skilled player.
Oh,
Don't
yeah,
say
yeah.
anything.
Connor
His
Mc-
slap shot is unreal.
He has a ring, so he's an all-star.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Connor McDavid with his line mates,
Hall of
Zach Cassian and something Kari. What's his first name? I have no clue.
I don't know.
I should have done more prep. But
Okay.
but I
We've
mean,
only had a month.
Guys, everyone go on Twitter and roast Declan because it's funny.
it's at Marshall Healy. That's my handle if you want to send some hate my way. But why don't we stay on the Leafs? I mean, William Nylander picked up his first goal the other day. I was in the building, actually. We were back home. It was on January 3rd. It's big flex here.
Are you cool or
Wow,
something?
that's impressive.
But Willie picks up his first goal since being back. I mean, it's not like he hasn't had the opportunity, but it was a dirty finish right over the
was-
shoulder of Dubnyk.
Oh, it was disgusting. That guy can play puck. He can move the puck. He's speedy on his skates. He goes around those corners, and he had no angle. And it was just like, boop. And I was like, what? It was nuts. But we did end up losing the game, but I didn't think it was any of our performance, really, until the third period. Our first two periods were unreal, I found. And then I thought our third period was lackey.
I disagree. I
Against
thought they
Minnesota?
didn't play. I thought they played the first 5 minutes of the first period, and then showed up in the third, but did nothing in between against Minnesota. But that's just semantics. Let's not get dragged into that. I want to stick on William Nylander. So Nylander said today regarding his lack of goals and trying to prove the contract he is. I think he has something to prove. He sat out, and a lot of casual Toronto fans are a little bit upset about that, wouldn't you say?
No, yeah. I also saw an interesting thing. It was Nate Schmidt. He was talking on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, but then I also saw it on Leafs Reddit. It was talking about how Nate Schmidt, he missed the first 20 games of the season
'Cause
he
he
got
did
suspended,
PEDs.
but apparently didn't. I'm probably gonna believe him on this one. He seems like a really nice guy, and now he's back. Great guy. He's killing it, but he talked about when he played in Europe, in Europe instead of here. He played in Venice. No, I forget where it is.
Okay.
Somewhere out there. Apparently, like his conditioning coming back was like one of the best. He was bag skating like 5 times a week, and like I don't think Nylander was doing that.
No, I don't think so. But also, Nylander, he's just a step behind.
Yeah, but Nate Schmidt came back and he's lighting it up right now. Like Nylander should have been doing that. If you want to be worth that contract, bag skate, be that guy. I'm like honestly, I love Nylander, but
But with Nylander, it hasn't been his conditioning or anything. It's been.
I don't know, man. Look
I
at
think
the first couple games.
I
Like,
think
he was
he's
slow.
just the second behind. He's just the second behind in picking up back
but
up that
Schmidt
game
wasn't.
speed. I think the Leafs are also a faster team than Vegas. I think they just play faster.
I think it's a combination of being literally slow, but he's got back up to speed now, but also just not playing hockey 40 games or whatever, 30 games less, 27 games less than the rest of them. You're just going to naturally not be up to pace mentally with them, and you're going to have to take time. Now, it's a combination of both.
I agree, but he's had 13 games now to
Yeah,
get
no,
back into it. That's more than enough time to get
but
back into
I don't
game
think
speed.
Nylander has been the issue, buddy. I think Nylander's been good.
No, I know.
But
I like his
I
play,
mean,
but he's not putting up points, man.
We've
He's got 2
already had
assists and
this
a goal.
disagreement, and I haven't read the quote that I wanted to.
Okay, sorry.
So by Christine Shilton, she tweeted this out this afternoon. She said, I just know what I'm capable of, and I know that's going to come. You're going to have tough times, and especially now, it's tougher than others. Once the puck starts going in, it'll keep going in. And I haven't hated Nylander's play. I thought he's done a lot of the right things. He just seems a second behind, and his decision-making is just a second slow.
On one of the goals was it 2 nights ago? Was it not Monday night? I don't know if it was the last game or 2 games ago. He was trying to get out to the point and like block a shot.
It was last
But
game.
he was
it was last game against the...
moving slow.
Mhm.
He was not in urgency at all, and puck went right by him and just boop in the net.
And that's kind of the player Willie is, though. He's not a defensive...
Can't be that guy.
Yeah,
You
no, I
can't be
know.
that guy with getting paid with what he is.
$6.9 million.
Yeah, you have to be a two-way player. What do you guys think about the third line move?
Before we talk about the third line move, I just kind of want to get Ian to read this Babcock quote.
Whoa.
What? Read the Babcock quote, buddy.
Okay, Mike Babcock's advice to William Nylander: drowning out the noise involves what you expect. Starts here. That's what the country music
You're not going to use your Babs voice, buddy?
Oh, you want me to? Oh,
That's
okay.
why I handed it to you, or I would have read it.
That's what the country music channel and the hunting channel is for Wild TV 393. It's dialed in. They never talk about hockey once. Honest to God, it's unbelievable.
So Mike Babcock definitely hitting the point there. If you couldn't understand Ian, he's just telling him to block it out and dial it out. And I think that's what Nylander needs to do, buddy. He just needs to avoid going on social media, because I think fans talking shit on social media is not going to help him.
Do you think he actually pays attention to that?
I think it definitely affects players. I mean, I would want to know what people
I
are
was-
saying
Man,
to me.
if I was making $6.9 million a year, someone could say I am a piece of garbage, literally like scum of the earth, like a worst person ever, and I'd be like, oh wow, sorry, I can't hear you through this $6.9 million.
I can't hear you with my $6.9 million covering my ear.
It's like,
Was that a Russian version of Patrick Waugh?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm not very good at accents, if you couldn't tell.
What?
wait, I did not know this, guys. Can we all go on Twitter and go, Declan is great at accents?
Once again,
Psych, you thought.
the handle is at Marshall Healy.
Once again, Declan is a bad friend.
I love you, buddy.
But seriously though,
Don't
third line
disagree
move.
or agree,
Good,
I'm saying
good
out
or
of
bad. Third line move, good or bad, for William Nylander.
Bad. He needs to play with Matthews.
Okay.
It'll pick up his speed. Like
That's what I
I
think.
think that if
I
you
think-
play
And
with
he's
that
looked
speed,
better.
No, yeah.
No, I think it'll help because it will get him playing. It'll make him be better on the ice because he'll be the best player on the ice, and then he can get up to with the best players being Matthews
Wait. So you think it's a good idea to put him on the third line?
for a couple games. You can't.
They tried
you
that.
Can't,
They already
no.
tried that at the beginning.
They tried it and
Yeah.
it didn't work, and he's looked fantastic since he started playing.
And
Matthews.
Babcock last year put him on the fourth line. Do you remember
Well,
that?
that's a bit.
No, sorry. They put Mitch on the
They
fourth
put
line.
both of them on the fourth
Yeah,
line.
yeah, they did. Because they were both not performing, and then Mitch went
Got-
on fire and is now one of the best passers in the league.
Yeah, like, I don't know much else. If there's a lot else we could say about it, I'm sure there is, but...
Mitch Marner is God. I met him once. Hey, Mitch, if you want to come on the pod, like, I met you once in a hotel. I was on a hockey tournament. And I don't think you really wanted to meet me, but it was nice for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Why don't we stick on the Mitch Marner thing? He snubbed from the All-Star game.
Oh, my. That is one of the biggest
Yeah.
snubs. But also, like, Landeskog was snubbed. And,
There were
like,
a lot of
Landeskog
weird
put up the
snubs.
same. It's, man, honestly, it's not about who's actually the best. It's all about the names that are going to the All-Star game.
But
And
Mitch
it's all
Marner's
about
a
money.
name, buddy.
Yeah, but Matthews is a bigger name, and so is Tavares.
It's just it's the stupidity of wanting to or needing to represent every team
Well,
at the All-Star
they
game.
have to. Like,
Do
I
they? If it's the All-Star game, you should have
Yeah,
the best players on
But
display.
Here's the. But
You shouldn't have Jimmy Howard and Carey Price in net.
But here's the. Well, first off, Carey Price is still not an awful goalie, but now they should have had Shea Weber instead. The
And
All-Star.
Vasi
In net?
should have been there originally.
Yeah, the All-Star game to a lot of
Best
fans,
contract in the NHL. Sorry.
The All-Star game to a lot of fans, like I assume you, Declan. I don't
hate
want
the
to put
All-Star
words in your
game.
mouth, but the All-Star game is not something you take
I
seriously.
hate the All-Star game.
So
I love it. I think it's jokes.
And so because it's a fun thing to go to, and it's going to involve all of the fans, and you want to have
viewership.
The
That's
All-Star-
exactly what they're going for.
The All-Star game is not an all-star game. An all-star game is the Olympics where you really have the best players. And this All-Star game is to bring together a lot of people to have a fun game, a fun time, and to get the fans interested. That's all this is a money-making venture. And if the NHL thinks that the best way to do it is to have a player from each team, then get a player from each
I
team.
think it is because
I
if
think
you
it is
don't,
too.
if my team didn't have a player going to the All-Star game, I'd be like, why am I even
Who
watching
cares?
this? Like, who
Who ca-
cares?
yeah.
Exactly. Like, why do I want to watch this if like the player that I like on my team isn't even there?
But I also think if it's about fun and about the flashiest players, why would you not have Mitch Marner there?
No, I think they could have had better selections. Like, for example, Shabbat is a great player, but Mark Stone is having one of his best years, tied with Ovechkin in points. So Ovechkin was a captain, and Stone wasn't even made for the team. So they could have done better with who they picked, but no, it's definitely... I think it's still a good system to have one from every player on their team.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. But I think that they do have to. I think that it should all be up to votes. Like it should all be
Like
the
player
best
voting,
All-Star game-
fans
No.
voting.
Yeah, player voting. I think that's a really good idea. I think each team should vote who on their team should go.
Yeah.
Because they know the best of who's actually putting in the work and who's performing the best.
Yep.
But if it's about the fans, wouldn't you make it a fan vote?
I
They
think
already do a fan vote.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
do,
but it's
you
a
can
fan
do a-
vote that's restricted.
Part of a fan vote.
you can
You can do
combine it.
partially fan vote and mostly players because fans don't know anything.
That's true.
Yeah.
We don't know anything.
Exactly. Like we pretend we know stuff, but really like the players know everything. Like they know who's actually the best. They know who's putting in the work. They know what's going on in the dressing room. They know who's being a good guy, who's not being a good guy.
They know
if
who
someone's a
deserves it.
good player, but then they're being a complete dickhead in the dressing room or whatever, like I would not vote them for the All-Star game if I was a player. But no one knows that. No fans know that.
Unless word gets out something was taken from the shower. Then he gets traded to Buffalo and then eventually San Jose. But
I wonder who you're talking about.
I'm not doing it from trivia. Don't worry.
Okay.
Damn it, I won't win.
So yeah. So
Darn.
but read off the people who are not selected from
I just first want to read you the players that are selected.
from the Atlantic Division.
Actually, I'm just gonna read you a list of names and tell me which ones do you think should be the All-Stars. So Patrice Bergeron, Jeff Skinner, Dylan Larkin, Mitch Marner, Mark Stone, Braden Point, Morgan Riley, Shea Weber.
That's the snubbed All-Star.
That's the snubbed All-Star team. The actual All-Star team is, and we're talking about the Atlantic Division, is Alexander Barkov, his first appearance. Jack Eichel, his first appearance. Nikita Kucherov, only his second. Brad Marchand, also his second. Austin Matthews, his second. Stamkos for the fifth time. Mike Green from Detroit, who I forgot existed, his second appearance.
Year.
Victor Hedman, Eric Carlson, Carey Price, and Vasilevsky in replacement of Jimmy Howard.
Wait, what? Eric Carlson in the Atlantic Division? What are
Eric
you
Carlson for
talking about?
Ottawa. What is
You're
this? Must
looking
be
at-
old.
Yeah, this is last year's, bud.
Yeah.
That's my bad, boys. Let me fix that.
Tavares was not there.
I was gonna say like this
Yeah,
is
Tavares was not there. That was poor on my part.
Guys, go on Twitter at Declan DeBarp.
Yeah, make sure it's actually true this time because this was an actual fuck up.
Yeah,
Do
that
you
was
want-
my bad.
Do you want me to find it? And read
Yeah,
it off?
please.
Sev
I
just-
kind of feel like an idiot.
Okay.
Okay, so
NHL, here it is. Atlantic Division, captained by Austin Matthews.
Thank
we got Jack Eichel in his second appearance. Nikita Kucherov in his third appearance. Pasternak, first All-Star game. Steven Stamkos, John Tavares, both making their sixth appearances. Shabbat first. Yandel from Florida, third appearance. Jimmy Howard making his second appearance. And Price will now be replaced by Vasilevsky.
That sounds more right.
So that was the Atlantic
So
team.
Cooch is not on it.
No, he was not. Oh, Kucherov, yes,
Oh
Nikita
no,
Kucherov.
sorry, because I was saying like, wait, Cooch was
No,
snubbed, and
Nikita. no,
that's more insane than
no,
Mitch being
N-
snubbed.
Yeah.
Nikita Kucherov. So,
Nikita Kucherov probably gonna win the Hart this year.
might be
David's gonna win
changing
the
next
card.
week for my predictions. Not, little,
Little tease for next time.
little tease. There's
But
no.
I want to.
I don't agree that there shouldn't that Mitch Marner should be on the team. We already have two Leafs. Like you got to represent every.
Yeah, no, I agree with the format. I just think some of the picks were bad. Like,
Would you have Mitch above John?
I would.
Yeah, because he's setting up everything for John. Man, John's having the easiest year of his career, and he's potting what? He's got 27 this year already. Yeah,
What
exactly.
is he on pace for? I think he's on pace for something like 50.
Yeah, no,
makes sense.
If
Yeah,
you're gonna, the thing is, if you're gonna use the format of every single person, every single team has to be represented. You then have to go to each team and basically say who's the most important player, who's the best player, and you you can make the case that Tavares is not top 4, he's probably 5th for most important from Toronto after Freddie, Matthews, Martin, O'Reilly.
Yeah,
interesting format. I think that it should be every team gets to pick one player as like the players vote in their own team to pick a player. And then after that, whatever excess you need should be fan voted upon.
That'd be a good idea.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that can almost create a rift in a dressing room. In which case, good that if there's a rift created from that, probably there's an issue there that should be dealt with.
Like why are you creating a rift off this?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like people would say there could be a rift created. In which case, I don't really care.
That's stupid.
No,
man.
it would happen. It would happen. No,
I know it would happen, but that's so stupid that there should be a rift created.
It'd be like Antonio Brown.
Oh my man, I can't talk about the Steelers.
Yeah, so I think it'd be a great idea to have.
Piss me off,
I think it'd be a great idea to have.
Are we gonna
players.
turn this into a football podcast?
Le'Veon Bell.
No, it'd be a great idea to have
Man,
players. pick
Kareem
their
Hunt
own.
would have made that kick.
Adam DeBarp would have made that kick.
No, but it's funnier because Kareem Hunt kicked a woman.
Is it,
It's a fact.
Is it funnier?
Yes.
I don't think domestic. I don't.
Yeah, this podcast does not condone or promote domestic assault, especially against women.
We definitely.
It's not domestic because they weren't dating.
We vehemently oppose domestic abuse, and you shouldn't hit women.
But in this case, that is a funny joke.
And so, Declan, the All-Star game. What do you think about it?
So are we cutting that out?
Yeah, we are.
No, that's funny.
Okay, so do you think that who do you think should not be on the Atlantic team that is?
I'm gonna just take a quick
Look at the
this.
right list. Yeah, go ahead. Be my guest.
I mean, I wouldn't put Tavares there. I would put Mitch.
Yeah.
Okay,
for
that makes
replacement
sense.
right from the same team. I don't think Howard or Price should be there.
That's fair enough. I think Weber should have been there. I think you could have rearranged it so that it's Vasilevsky, it's Weber, and then it's Stone.
Was Rantanen snubbed? I think Rantanen was completely snubbed.
No, Rantanen is on this team.
Okay.
If you're wondering, the Central Division is McKinnon, Kane, O'Reilly, Rantanen, Scheifele, Wheeler, Heiskanen, Yossi, Dubnik, Rene.
Lacking a Swede.
Lacking a Swede, one particular one.
I said Swede because I can't say his name properly. I was hoping
Gabriel
you would.
Landeskog?
Thank you.
Yeah, but he could get voted in as the odd man out.
Yeah, could.
You don't
Same
know.
with Riley.
Same with
But
Riley.
but the fact that they're not guarantees.
Man, the fact that Riley's
it's not-
the
it's-
available, like
the-
an available odd man out, and Mitch isn't, is insane.
But the thing is, Weber's going to be put in before Riley because Montreal needs to be represented. So it needs to be 2 guys go out now for the Atlantic.
Montreal is represented.
Montreal.
Price is out.
Yeah. And Jack Eichel is injured right now, so if they take him out, then Skinner's going to be put in his place.
That makes sense.
But I mean,
So-
can I just say that although we've just spent probably the last 5 or 10 minutes on this, does it matter? Does the All-Star game matter?
Not to
Not
you.
at all. It doesn't matter to anybody. Ovi's not even playing.
That's-
Interesting take. I've heard this. Any player over the age of like late 20s or early 30s or whatever should be allowed to just not participate in the All-Star game, which they already are. Not
I
al-
saw
like,
not
allowed.
the age, but I saw if you've been in 5 All-Star games, after that, you get 1 veto.
I think that-
And you're not suspended. Like, because right now, if you don't play the All-Star game, you have to sit out either the game before or the game after. So I've seen if you have been in at least 5, you get to say
Who did that
thanks,
a
but
couple
no
of years
thanks.
ago?
Who did what?
Who got suspended for not going to the All-Star game? It was a couple of years ago, but I
don't
can't.
know.
But I remember it happening.
Again, it wasn't really so much of as a I think it was just the first time they had the suspension actually introduced. It was made a big deal, but it really wasn't that big of a deal in hindsight. So that's why I probably don't remember.
But like,
I think it just
the All-Star game doesn't matter.
I become a Gary Bettman apologist, and I see it from their side that the All-Star game is a good way to bring in money and bring in
no,
fans.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that you don't want to have your best players on display. That it won't make you a crap ton of money because you get to do new merchandise, new event ticketing, all of that stuff. You turn it into a 2-day thing.
They already do that.
No.
And
I'm saying.
And they're actually changing the format. If not this or next, they're going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I
Now,
think
That gives them time. Like, it gives the players time to
It
get
gives them-
back home. And
it gives them
and then they
time.
start on Monday.
And the sad part is that way they're not competing against the Pro Bowl, which is the last couple of years always been happening the same weekend.
yeah.
Man, the
So,
Pro Bowl is so
It's worse.
stupid.
It's the worst All-Star
It's
game
the
of all.
worst. 100%. Like basketball All Star is actually pretty funny.
That's fun to
It's
watch.
fun to watch.
I like the. I personally like. I
That's
don't-
just
I
because
don't-
that's just because basketball in
skills.
general
It is
has
skills, yeah.
more
excitement from
has more just
It's
it's more
easy
it's
going.
more just a fun league.
Yeah. Well, again back to the NHL. I don't necessarily like watching the All-Star game, but I like watching the skills competition.
Yeah, I agree. I watched the skills competition.
Man, when Matthews had the skill competition last year and he was so subpar, I was sad. But I was like, like
Also,
whatever.
I just want to throw it out there to get the 2 minutes of Ottawa in here. And the Ottawa All-Star game, I believe it was Nick Paul, but somebody else in their skills competition got 108 hardest shot. And
That's insane.
yeah. So if he was ever good enough to make the All-Star game, I think
What was the
he would break
flex
that
They
on the
should do-
stick?
They should do for the skills competition. They should have specialists come in, guys who might never make it just as an all-star, but are really really good at just one thing. I would love to see Kasperi Kapanen in the speed
race?
challenge.
Yeah.
I'd
But no, he's good on straightaways, but he would get murdered on the around by McDavid.
Well, I'm not saying he would be faster than McDavid.
No,
But
I
I'm
know.
saying
in a
that-
straightaway, I think he's close, probably.
That I think they should have guest stars like the NBA does, where they have like specific dunkers, specific 3-point shooters, and then maybe not all of them play in the thing.
Yeah.
Because there's some guys who are really really good at one specific thing.
Yeah. Like this here, Nick Paul, 108.3 miles per hour hardest shot. Like that's ridiculous.
Someone who is an absolute cannon, but is
Man,
not
what's the
not
flex
going
on
to be
his
an
stick?
all-star.
Like 150?
I'm not sure. I have to look that up, but it'd be stupid probably.
Stupid
one way,
high.
in one way or the other, it'd be stupid. But yeah, I think and also you can make it a little like have a little more friendly competition where you, especially for the one where it's racing, you set up specific people and so that you have Matthews versus Johnny or whoever in the
look
final.
how they did it a couple of years ago when both Kessel and Sagan were there. How fun was that when they had Sagan race Kessel in the thing?
That was fun. I really like it because like it's just for you're like haha.
It's just a fun weekend, and
all the players have fun that go there. They're all like joking around, like they're like I think their kids are there.
And
Like
that's-
they talk to the other guys. Like they get to mingle with like people they don't really mingle with ever. And like those are the other tall players in the league that they get to talk with. I think it's cool.
That's kind of thing that made me bothers me about Ovechkin. I'm not upset at him skipping, but like I mean, Price is like legitimately like battling injury. Ovechkin is just skipping it because he wants to not be as tired.
but I think
He's
that's
not-
fair.
But he's not going to be tired out from this. There is no way he is going to be coming back off this and say, "Yeah, I'm definitely going to be better than other people who did go to this."
Okay,
No, but
right
you
now
try and
he
get
can.
any rest you can.
He's 33 years old, and he is playing 82 games a season, and he's scoring 50 goals a season most seasons.
Yeah.
Man,
He is the
if
best
you want
goal
to get
scorer.
if you want to take a rest, man, and not do something for a weekend, and instead of having to go to the All-Star game because you are the best, like I think that's totally legitimate.
Also, just if we're sad on Ovechkin, currently right now, Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby have the exact number of career points.
No way.
They have the exact number. I'm not sure. I think that counts playoffs, but I'm not sure. They have like totally different games played, but they have the exact number of career points.
Last time I checked, Malkin and Crosby had also played the same amount of games.
That's also very weird considering injuries. But
Yeah.
yeah, they have the exact same number of points, and it's just kind of, and they're from the same draft class, and they're way ahead of whoever's drafted in this, and whoever debuted, because it was technically 2 draft classes, I should say. Ovechkin was drafted,
because of the lockout.
and then Crosby. But yeah, the exact same number of points. It's so weird how that.
The list I'm
It's
looking
right
at
now.
is old because all capital like name players are still active, and Jaromir Jagr is in capitals.
I found it on Twitter from someone retweeted. I have to find it, but
Just go to their hockey DBs. But I mean, just to keep this discussion going, I mean, Crosby and Ovechkin probably some of the best. Do you guys think that Crosby will pass Gretzky for most goals? Just
most goals.
Crosby or
Crosby
Ovechkin?
Ovechkin. Did I say
You said
Crosby?
Crosby.
I
meant
think
Ovechkin.
he could, man. It's not unrealistic.
No, he has to be consistent for like he doesn't have to be that consistent for that long. Like only until like he's like 38 is something where he has to be good.
Yeah,
and
they
then-
both have 1,169 points.
Yeah.
nice.
and like the next behind them is like a wall behind them. But I think it's not unreasonable to think Ovechkin could break the record. No,
Except Ovechkin has played 141 more games
than
Ben?
Crosby.
than
Crosby?
Crosby.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Crosby's also
A
been
different player.
different player, and he's consistently had Malkin to counteract him, whereas Ovechkin has never had that. Like
Backstrom.
well, consistently every year.
Evgeny
equal.
Malkin is one of the most underrated players.
He is.
No, yeah, 100%.
He is.
I agree.
Malkin is the most underrated player of this century.
Yeah.
And he loves it that way.
Not
He-
an NHL top 100 player of all time.
But
Yeah, no,
don't
they,
worry.
they
Patrick
don't. They
Kane
don't have
is.
the same number of games played.
3-time 30s goal scorer Patrick Kane is.
Yes, but not Malkin.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Patrick Kane, one of the most overrated players in the league.
He's so good though. Like his hands are
He's-
disgusting.
He's flashy.
He's flashy.
I know.
Yeah, doesn't mean he's great, but he's flashy. But anyway,
Why don't we look at one of the flashier players from the new generation of players in Elias Pettersson?
why don't we?
Oh,
Now,
Pettersson is so good.
is out for the second time this season. He missed some time earlier this year when he I don't know if it was a
thrown to the
concussion.
ice.
If it was a concussion or concussion-like symptoms when he was thrown to the ice, and he's out again. I don't know why, but he's out. Does he lose the Calder to Miro Heiskanen because of games played? We saw this.
Heiskanen's fourth on the
Knee sprain.
voting right now.
Huh?
Pettersson's out with a knee sprain.
No,
But he's fourth on the voting for Calder right now.
When I looked earlier, Heiskanen was the closest to him.
No, Thomas Chabot. Like,
Thomas
he was
Chabot's not a
posted-
rookie, buddy.
Oh yeah, no, not Thomas. Hold on. There was Calder. I saw a post NHL did where they talked about leaders for the race on Calder, and it was two other people before Heiskanen.
Okay, but let me finish just setting this up fully. We saw McDavid lose it in his rookie year to Artemi Panarin because he played 45 games. Obviously, he missed time with a broken collarbone by current teammate Brandon Manning when he drove him into the post.
Again, Shirelli.
Okay.
Amazing.
We're gonna end on Edmonton. We're gonna save
okay.
that, but
in front of Miro Heiskanen. Okay, so this is a trophy tracker. 20 NHL.com writers cast their votes for the Calder, and it's like a points awarded. So it's 5 points for first, 4 points for second, and so on. So Elias Pettersson got 100 points.
Yeah.
Rasmus Dahlin got 71. Brady Tkachuk got 51, and Miro Heiskanen got 39.
Rasmus Dahlin, is having an underrated good season this year in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's because everyone on Buffalo's sick, and
Yeah.
Jeff Skinner's killing it, and so is Jack Eichel.
Who they got for basically a pile of
Also,
bucks.
Carter Hutton.
Yeah. Yeah, but do you think that Pettersson loses the Calder because he hasn't played enough games this year?
I would say no because
It
he's
depe-
currently way ahead in points.
Yeah, it really depends on how the season. Like, if he ends with more points than these guys, like 100% he gets the Calder.
Especially with playing less games.
Yeah.
If he plays 10 less games and is only like 2 points behind, give him the Calder.
I think it was like Matthews and Line when they were rookies. Like, I think Matthews had like one or two less points, like a couple less points, but he played like significantly less games.
So
Yeah, I saw it in Elliot Friedman's 31 Thoughts that he mentioned that, and I thought it was interesting, so I wanted to get your guys' take on it. Why don't we transfer a little bit further inland and we talk about our favorite team,
to make fun of.
the Edmonton Oilers?
To make fun of.
McDavid's sick.
McDavid
Everyone
is pretty
else-
sick,
everyone
but
else
everyone
is-
else, like I said, not that good.
Ah.
Milan Lucic scored his first goal in 41 games the other night, and Edmonton went crazy.
We want the cup.
Lucic is a
We
great
want
shot.
the cup. We want. That's what they chanted.
Are they in
for
a
some weird reason.
playoffs spot right now?
No, they are not.
I think they're 1 point out, though.
Okay.
2.
I think they could make the playoffs.
They are a game out. They are 2
Yeah, but
points out.
should they?
Yeah. Should
Yes, they have McDavid.
should-
Regardless of what your team looks like, they should make the playoffs because they
and
have
that's,
McDavid.
that's the sad part where you're wasting a generational talent
in
on
Edmonton. Oh my god.
And they're on a major skid right now. They got smashed by the San Jose Sharks the other night, 7-2.
Nice.
And in their last,
I mean, yeah.
and in their last 10, they're 2-8.
But in the last 4, they're 2-2. So they've not. The skid is, they're
They're
slowing
coming
it down.
out of it.
Yeah.
But
That means they
Still-
lost what?
still not-
6 straight games.
Still not great. Yeah, they lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight games, bookended by 4-1, 3-1 wins against Arizona and Philadelphia. So it's not like they're beating the top of the crop.
and on top of it, they're in the weakest division in hockey.
that's argumentable.
Argumentable?
Yeah, there's an argument to be made against that. But anyway, let's focus on Edmonton.
Are they wasting a generational talent?
Yeah.
I think we just went.
Yeah,
yes.
me and Ian just talked about. Yeah.
He's playing with Korea. It's been a long day, boys. He's playing with Korea and Cassian, two guys who can't skate.
Paul Correa.
I don't know what his first name
No,
is.
Paul is the guy who got trucked, and then he scored the game-winning goal, and then he never played again because he had serious concussion.
I think he'd be better than who's currently playing with.
Their second line, Milan Lucic, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jesse Puljarvi, who they've been in talks to trade.
Yessie? Is it Yessie?
He's Finnish and it's Jesse, so yes, Jesse.
Oh, that's weird. And
Their
the
third
Finns,
line,
man.
Tobias Reeder, Leon Draisaitl, Alex Chason.
I don't even know who they are.
I know
The only
Jason
person
only
I-
because they played for
don't know.
Ottawa.
Leon
No, the only
Draisaitl.
person I know is Leon Draisaitl, exactly.
I only know I know him.
And you
Jason.
don't know, and then their fourth line, Spooner, Brodziak, and Ty Ratty.
I know more of their fourth-line players than their third-line players. Is that weird?
No, because Edmonton
Okay.
is bad.
Would I be able to just quickly run down a Twitter thread of all of Peter Strelli's mistakes?
Yeah, you can. We might be here for a couple of
We're-
hours.
it's a couple-
But,
This dates back to 2011. Shirelli acquires Rich Peverly for Blake Wheeler. The same day.
That was
Shir-
so dumb.
The same day, Shirelli acquires Thomas Cabriolet in exchange for a first, second, and Joel Corbin.
is this while
that
he
was
was still in
Toronto?
Boston?
Yes, this
Oh,
one is
no,
in
that's-
Boston. The
yeah.
first ended up being Ricard Raquel. And then Shirelli in 2013, on July 4th, trades Tyler Sagan and Rich Beverly for Louis Erickson and Riley Smith and Joe Morrow because Sagan, quote, didn't fit into the culture.
That's a
All
quote
right.
that he's been saying a couple of
Now,
times.
in his first trade with Edmonton,
It sounds kind of racist.
Shirelli, well,
He doesn't fit the culture. I remember
not
there being.
because-
I don't want to slander Tyler Sagan, but I
No, it was
remember
a homophobic thing.
that.
No.
Yeah,
And Sagan didn't have issues. Like he showed up and you hear the Toronto playoff series. He showed up to the rink 3 straight days in the exact same suit because he was out all the night before. Like he had issues, but anyway.
It's lit.
So in his first trade, as in the Edmonton GM, Charlie traded the 16th and 33rd overall picks for Griffin Reinhart. The 16th overall turned into Matt Barzell, while the 33rd. While players such as Kyle Connor, Brock Bozer, and Thomas Chabot were
Brock
also
Besser.
Brock
Bozer.
Besser, and Thomas Chabot were all still available.
Can I just put a quick
Yeah, but no,
disclaimer out there before you continue? Edmonton fans, I think you should turn this off. It's going to get a very, very dark. Very, very
Shirelli
quickly.
moves out Justin Schultz for only a 3rd-round pick. The player drafted has yet to sign a professional contract. 1-for-1. Taylor Hall for Adam Larson.
One of the worst trades in NHL history.
Year later, Milan Lucic, 7-year, $6 million year average.
Is that the worst contract in the NHL?
Right currently. A couple days later, before that actually, Shirelli trades Jordan Eberle for Ryan Strome. Later, Ryan Strome would be traded for Ryan Spooner, who they currently cannot get rid of. They also signed Chris Russell, 4 years, $4 million year average. Then this year, Shirelli acquires Alex Petrovic in exchange for Chris Weidman and a 3rd-round pick. And then we also have Drake Caligula for Brandon Manning, who is the reason McDavid did not win the Calder.
Yeah, because he broke his collarbone.
So that's an indictment on anyone who's ever thought Shirelli was a good GM.
Peter Shirelli is my inspiration in life.
Because he can do whatever he wants.
Because
Because
he can do
job.
anything, and he still has a job.
If he can do GM of the Edmonton Oilers, an NHL level team, I can do anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
He is
yeah.
not
you
my
have-
hero, but the guy I look up to. Like,
If you have
He's my
80
inspiration,
Yeah,
buddy.
inspiration.
He's
What?
my motivation to get out of bed every morning.
Peter Shirelli with picks and prospects who are looking to be something decent, he's just like, thank you, next.
He
On-
pulls a full area
thank you-
Grande.
Thank you, next to big 6'4" guy who can't skate. Play with my generational talent who might be the best player ever to play hockey, who might never win a cup. If
Unless he sides with Toronto.
If Connor McDavid doesn't win a cup, it will be the biggest waste of a career in any professional sport to ever play.
I honestly think that if Edmonton does not shape up their team around him, I think McDavid will leave.
yeah.
He will just walk in free agency. He won't ask to get traded. Like he's gonna say like I'll probably stay, and then he'll just be like full Johnny T.
Can we remember
And
that
no
this
one
is
will ever think of him as a. No one will ever say, "Wow, what an asshole." They'll
Yeah, I
think,
know.
"Good job, thank
Like,
you, thank you for
not ruining your career.
yeah,
there.
we actually want you to do well. Thank you." That will be our response, and that'll probably
And
be.
then he'll pull the thank you next.
Where is McDavid from?
McDavid is from Newmarket, Ontario.
Do you think he could come home?
Where do you think McDavid has his Leafs pajamas hidden? Do you think
Oh.
do you think that that's what? Will Toronto have a chance to sign him? Will Toronto have enough money? Will they have to trade William Nylander? Will they have to trade Austin Matthews? Will he get offer sheeted?
Hey,
Man,
Kiprio,
if
settle
Austin-
down.
If McDavid has the option to come to Toronto and we have to get rid of Austin Matthews, that would be so tough. But I might say yes.
I love Austin Matthews.
I love him, but McDavid.
But let's focus on Edmonton. So Marshall reads those moves. Are those just his mistakes or all moves?
Those are I'm not sure. Those aren't all his moves, but those are his glaring mistakes.
Okay, so he must have done some okay stuff. You know,
those
what I mean?
are-
Can you name any of them?
Man, I don't
I
like
can- I can
Edmonton
at
enough
least-
to name
I
those
can at least
good
name
things.
some stuff Dorian's did that's not half awful.
Yes, because you're an Ottawa fan.
Yeah, but Peter Chiarelli's also won a cup, so and he's recognizable, and you can't like it's sad that he's
but
just
Peter Chiarelli is trying to build the 2013 Boston Bruins on
yeah.
Edmonton.
He drafted Brown Marchand. That's all I can think that he did something good for. That's it.
Well, he won a cup. But I'm thinking in Edmonton, it's a boys club.
Half those players were there when he got there.
It's a boys club.
Yeah, everyone has played on the 80s Oilers. That
Yeah,
work
all the
there.
management. Gretzky's there. Coffey's there. I think Coffey's brother is there. He's in management.
Jesus, and I like
Did
Coffey.
he play hockey?
Paul, I don't know.
I mean, Wayne Gretzky's brother played in the NHL.
Yeah,
Wayne-
do you know that them as brothers combined have the most points of a brother duo of any brothers that have ever played in the NHL? I
Good.
think Brett Hull has like 4. Or Brett Gretz, sorry.
Not
His
Brett.
name is Brent Gretzky, and he has like
Brent. Yeah,
4
4 points
4 points, and
in like
and
one season,
And sorry, Gretzky has
2,800 and
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Can I ask you boys a question?
Sure.
Do they trade Connor McDavid?
No.
No. What?
Do the Edmonton Oilers trade Connor McDavid?
Unless he specifically says, "I will not sign with your team."
And
at
they
the
can
end
get-
of this,
And they can get like 3 first-round picks. Sure.
Can we remember that this is the same organization that traded Gretzky? I know it's not the same
Yeah,
management.
but that's because the owner needed money and it was the 80s. This is a different
Yes,
time.
this
Gary Bettman could block that trade if he wanted to.
what?
Commissioners have the
Oh,
power
yeah.
to
Oh,
block
yeah.
trades.
No, yeah.
So
I think he would see it and be like, "Nah, that's not happening."
you just look at McDavid's name and be like,
he probably call McDavid and see like, "Are you okay with this?" Yeah. All right. Fine. Deal's good.
McDavid for a conditional 7th. Do you do it? That's a Peter Chiarelli move right there.
Yeah. No, I Chiarelli's gonna do something stupid, and we all know it. and
give him
it's-
a little bit of credit. He's still the GM.
yeah, the guy still won a cup. I mean, he's awful, but he's not that awful.
Like,
I think I will be very surprised if McDavid plays more years with Edmonton than is currently contracted to do.
Do you think he ends his contract with the?
Ends his contract on
Does-
yes,
Edmonton?
because that means
Yes.
he's gonna get traded otherwise.
Okay.
Yes,
I don't think that he does.
I think.
Really, you think that he's gonna get
I think
traded?
I think
I think that having a name like that is impossible to impossible. No, sorry, not impossible to trade, but it's impossible for
to win that trade.
yeah. There's gonna be no outcome because even if you get 3 first-round picks, those first round or first over, even if they're 3 first overall picks, you're still looking for McDavid, and no one's ever gonna be McDavid. Maybe like someone might be on his level eventually, but I don't see. There's no one coming up in any system that people think are gonna touch McDavid.
No, yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I just think that McDavid gets unhappy and he's like, trade me.
And then Peter Chiarelli can go.
No, I'm good, son. I don't want to look that bad.
Yeah, he has the power to go. Nah.
and then McDavid,
Unless he sits out a season.
Yeah.
and,
in
like,
which
he
in
loses
which
all-
in
which
which
he loses all his
case-
money, right?
Yeah, in
And
which case I don't see McDavid. I just don't see McDavid ever doing that.
the amount of
It's an interesting
angry
debate.
like NHL fans could just because he's sitting out would be outrageous.
Oh yeah, I know. The NHL is an old man sport, but that is also
Hey, I like fights, and I don't think that speed is the way it's going.
Hey,
You
Don
need
Cherry,
size.
Don Cherry, relax.
Hey, real good Canadian kids.
your Don Cherry is horrible. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I'm
the
not
same as
one
my
to
Mike
talk-
Babcock.
Yeah, I know.
Have you guys ever seen PK Subban's Don
Oh,
Cherry?
it's so funny.
Perfect.
Why,
He does
what-
that
what were-
finger tap thing on the table. Oh,
The Don Cherry drinking game, you can get blackout drunk some nights
like
with
in,
that.
yeah,
But then some nights
Holy.
you barely drink.
no, it's because we did it on the Remembrance Day one,
Oh yeah, I know.
and like there was no him going like thumbs up like us, a good Canadian kid. He didn't do that stuff. He was all like in Remembrance Day mode,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
yeah, no.
But
I think we're just meandering off topic. Why don't we get to trivia, Marshall?
all right,
Before
let's
we
finish this off. Now,
before we
I don't
ruin
I don't remember the current stats, but all I know is me and Ian are way ahead of Declan.
I think it's like
you have 4
to 3 or
Ian has
something.
3. We'll
Yeah.
post this on. I'll post this on Twitter after the show with an updated one with the outcome of today. Maybe I'll win.
Well,
You wish.
I do.
Again, this is one of those ones where like I hope Declan gets it, but I won't be surprised.
Oh, thanks, Marshall.
Anyway, so this player was drafted 123rd overall in the
means nothing.
2010 NHL draft by the Florida Panthers. However, he did not make his debut until 2016,
Oh,
and it was not with Florida.
Okay. Is it Zach Hyman?
Yes.
Yeah.
no way!
Yep.
Ow, my ears hurt, and I wasn't even wearing the headphones.
I did it. High five.
I'm not gonna give you a
Yeah,
high
we're
five
not,
for
I'm
that.
not high-fiving anybody for that.
I'm just. I literally just thought, what would his favorite player. And
Why
if
would you do that to me?
What to you? I felt bad for the kid. Don't
Hey,
worry. Next time I'll do. Next time it'll be actually like back to Alexa Yash and shit. Don't worry.
I love Zach Hyman.
Don't worry.
I'm so happy right now, boys.
I'll make it for real next time. Assuming
This is
assuming
the
I
only
ever-
thing Declan has ever done that is a good thing.
Thanks, Ian.
and it was literally spoon fed to him, and it still took him a little bit longer than I thought.
I'm just gonna sit here and not say anything, so you guys just keep going, okay?
All
Thanks.
right. Well,
All right,
I'm
so-
sorry, Ian, but next time if I get the chance, I'll make it hurt again.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So I'm Ian,
I am Marshall.
and Declan's not saying anything because he's a salty boy. Thank you for listening to the Real Good Procast, and we'll catch you next week.
Night, guys.
Follow your hosts on Twitter at DeBart14, at Ian_Blumenthal, and at Marshall Healy. Don't forget to follow the podcast at Real Good Procast.